Well, good afternoon and welcome to Plainsman Park and welcome into a Saturday of Northeastern Plainswomen soccer on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. It's a big one today for the Northeastern Plainswomen as they are sitting third place inside the Region 9 soccer standings. They welcome in Western Wyoming, who after yesterday's win against Lamar, they are now tied for first in the Region 9 standings. Pre-game show brought to you by Northeastern Junior College. From Plains to Possibilities, Northeastern Junior College has the educational path for you. Learn more, njc.edu, and set up your tour there today. The Plainswomen and the Mustangs have played some great historical battles between each other. In fact, in the history of the Plainswomen soccer program, 7 games have been played here in Sterling between NJC and Western Wyoming. 5 of them decided by a single goal or were draws. We'll relive a couple of those games as a part of our Inside Northeastern at halftime of this game. But let's focus on this one. The Northeastern Plainswomen and the Western Wyoming Mustangs. What do you need done if you're going to win this contest? Well, that's our key to the contest, brought to you by Carpet Comfort Center. The largest selection of flooring in Northeast Colorado, the flooring you need with a professional installation. Stop by in the Broadway Plaza Shopping Center in Sterling. It's about the possession of the ball. Having seen so many of the games between NJC and Western Wyoming in their history, as I've been around for the entire history of the Plainswomen soccer program here at NJC, the team that wins the possession battle is going to do it. Very small passing windows for Western Wyoming. They're very good on the defensive side. You need to be able to possess the ball, so there's a lot of touch, pass, touch, pass. You're going to have to be a lot more pragmatic. There's not going to be a lot of that possession dribbling through the middle of the pitch in this one. If you're NJC and going to win this, you're going to have to make those quick passes. I would like to see NJC utilize the big ball over the top a little bit more. They haven't done it as much in this season. Of course, the Plainswomen will be down a couple players today. Aaliyah Duke, she broke her arm in training this past week, and Lisha Bravo Ponce is still out following last week's action as well. So the Plainswomen down a couple players, but I really think that they've got some players in some positions that can do some great things as they get into more natural positions on the soccer pitch. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll meet starters and have kickoff next. It's Northeastern and Western Wyoming on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. And we'll welcome you back to Plainsman Park as we get you set for kickoff of the Northeastern Plainsmen and the Western Wyoming Mustangs. NJCAA Region 9 Women's Soccer. And about set to meet our starting lineups. They're brought to you on the Eastern Plains Sports Network by Stubbs. Sports fans, when you're traveling, you need the one stop that has it all. Take exit 66A in Wiggins and stop off at Stubbs. The Western Wyoming Mustangs in the red with the white letters and numbers. The Northeastern Plainsmen in their Vegas golds with the black letters and numbers. Western Wyoming played yesterday. They won down in Lamar. This is the second game of a road trip for them. For NJC, the only game this week. Plainsmen play Lamar next Friday for their sophomore day here at Plainsman Park. The Plainsmen currently sitting in third inside the region, but Casper does have a game today. They are a point back of the Northeastern Plainsmen. The Plainsmen have been able to get 12 or 9 points here at home. On paper, should have an opportunity to get the 3 next weekend against Lamar. Of course, you have to play that game. You'd really like a point here today at worst, a draw against Western Wyoming or a win to ensure that you could have a postseason game here at Plainsman Park. It'd be the first time that the Plainsman soccer team plays a postseason game here at this pitch. The last time NJC had a home game, we were playing over at Sterling. So let's meet our starting lineups for this one as they do the international walkout to midfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Plainsman Park for today's Region 9 contest between the Western Wyoming Mustangs and your Northeastern Plains women. Let's meet the starters. First for the Mustangs, number 00, Alexandria Barton. Number 4, Caitlin Anderson. Number 5, McKay Jenks. Number 7, Lizzie Cowie. Number 12, Dylan Anderson. Number 13, Cadence Barber. Number 17, Mackenzie Osborne. Number 19, Hannah Harris. Number 20, Gracie Thorson. Number 22, Lily Peterson. And number 23, Jordan Gossett. Mustangs are coached by Allison Cross, Zoe Winlatt, and Brady Baldwin. And now, starters for your Plainswomen. Number 1, Ashlyn Godfrey. Number 2, Luna Dominguez. Number 4, Marseille Edwards. Number 6, Savannah Thompson. Number 10, Allie Marling. Number 17, Addison Johnson. Number 20, Trizity Chavez. Number 21, Zitlali Rascon Brown. Number 22, Felicity Shelton. Number 25, Trinity Moreland. And number 24, Carissa Wright. The Plainsmen are coached by Caitlin Waller and Joshua Burton. Let's play ball.
Plainsmen will be going from our right to our left as we get this one underway in half number 1. And Western Wyoming going the other direction, obviously. Our first half is brought to you by Better Electric, covering all your electrical work from residential to commercial to agricultural. Better does matter, 970-521-1030. Talked about it in previous broadcasts of the Northeastern Plainswomen soccer team. This will be our last regular season broadcast for NJC. We're hoping that we'll be able to bring you a postseason game here at home on the Eastern Plains Sports Network as well. I won't be able to be here on Friday as the Plainswomen host Lamar, but we are hoping to see this Plainswomen soccer team get that home game. Last year, it was 16 points that got them the home game. You get 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw. So at 9 right now, you know you still need 7 points remaining. You need 3 wins and a draw left, or some sort of combination beyond from there to be able to get yourself a home game in the postseason. Top 2 get buys, then 3 hosts 6, 4 hosts 5. I would say NJC's probably pretty safe to into the playoffs, as in last year was only like 12 or 13. So they do have a good leg up on that. Still need to put together some results, do the Northeastern Plainswomen, if they want to guarantee that appearance in the postseason for the first time since they lost to Western Wyoming in a shootout in the quarterfinals. And that is one of the games we will relive as a part of the history between this rivalry. 5 of the 7 meetings between NJC and Western Wyoming that have all time been played here in Sterling have been decided by a single goal or in a draw. These two teams play a very possession-minded brand of football, so it's unsurprising that we've had a lot of close games between all of these teams. Do have a scoreboard today, which is a nice change of pace. Found the loose wire or the bird or rodent, whatever had dislodged the scoreboard from being able to work early in the season. Western Wyoming puts it into play, and they'll have the opening possession of the contest. Gracie Thorson out of Utah working through the midfield possession. On the backside of that defense, the center backs for Western Wyoming are Lizzie Cowley and Mackenzie Osborne. Osborne, sophomore from Utah. Very good defender. Tall in size on the backside of that line. Plainsmen thwart the first run-through attempt for Western Wyoming with a big ball over the top, and the Plainsmen will try and build out in front. Change in how things look for the Northeastern Plainsmen. It will be Calissa Wyke and Savannah Thompson that are playing on the front side of the defense. Thompson gives the ball to Wyke, who gives it back to Thompson near the top of the 18, but just a bounce out in front of her. And the goalkeeper, Alexandria Barton, comes out and scoops the ball up for Western Wyoming. Allie Marling working as a part of that midfield along with Felicity Shelton. Far side, Trinity Moreland there as well. Marling peeling back defensively. She will funnel to the near corner, a pass that'll be picked up for Western Wyoming by Jordan Gossett. Gossett serves one across the middle, the header across the 18, bounces off the foot of Shelton. Plainsmen still trying to thwart the offense. Getting in the way again is Moreland, and the ball across will be cleared by Luna Dominguez, 35 out. Western Wyoming has a big leg, launch over the top of the goal on the shot from Lily Peterson. So producing the first shot of the game nearly 2 minutes in, off a ball that was denied from a corner crosser. Plainsmen quick start from the back of the goal, battle for the ball, and Northeastern will end up taking it away with Felicity Shelton. Quick dribble across the middle, ball knocked down by Calissa Wyke. Wyke across to Dominguez, who rolls it to the far side, and the streaking Moreland unable to get there before it rolls out into the Western Wyoming bench. So the Mustangs toss it in. Bounced across the middle and taken away for NJC by Ruscone Braun. Service up over the top and an attempt to run down into the far corner for Wyke, but again out to thwart the chance was the freshman keeper Alexandria Barton. Barton puts the leg into it, back out to the mid. The captain, Caitlin Anderson, calms down. The ball booted to the center stripe. Quick roll up the far side, and the Plainsmen retreating quickly. Across the middle, Trish Chavez comes in to help out, and a beautiful bit of defense for NJC by Marseille Edwards in that back right, but then a quick service in, and the ball fired into the back of the net. 3rd minute of the contest, or 4th minute of the contest. The Plainsmen turn it over deep in the midfield, right onto the foot of Cadence Barber, and she scores for the Western Wyoming Mustangs. 41-46 to go in the first half, and Cadence Barber off an NJC turnover pops it in. It is 1-0 in favor of Western Wyoming. That's been the Plainsmen's problem a lot this season. Very poor positioning on their turnovers. Trish Chavez trying to find a teammate across the middle. Came up short of the target, and it ended up on the Western Wyoming foot. Western Wyoming takes it away on the quick restart. Barber nutmegs Trish Chavez and drops it into the back of the net. Bang, bang. She scores twice in the 4th minute. A Plainswoman turnover again in the middle of the field. And Western Wyoming quickly with a 2-0 lead. Same player popping it in the sophomore from Utah. So Plainswoman, boy, that was not how they wanted this Saturday afternoon to start. Try to get their footing underneath them. I always say that there is an opportunity for scoring when your opponent scores within the next 5 minutes, but that was flipped back on the Northeastern Plainswomen. The 2 shots on have both gone in within the last minute as Western Wyoming scores 30 seconds apart. Nice. Mustangs take the ball away in the middle of the pitch again, and Barbu already has a brace in the first 5 minutes of the game. She tries to chip it across. Plainswomen work it back to the middle. Savannah Thompson whistles it across, and it rolls near side and out, right near the center stripe. Bank of Colorado wants to apply for the loan you need for your dream home fully online. bankofcolorado.com or at one of the many Bank of Colorado locations across the state. Bank of Colorado, member FDIC. 2-0 Western Wyoming, nearly 5 minutes into the first half. Mustangs try and thread the needle to a streaking Anderson, the captain on the far side. It's denied for NJC, picked up by Thorson deep on that defense. She flips it down into the middle and picks it back up. Splits a defender, and Trish Chavez clears the ball out far line for a Western Wyoming throw. Ball off the throw is denied the initial penetration in, so Western Wyoming will back up and try a different angle. Quick ball bounced to the far side. Anderson goes through the legs of a defender and fires it high off the netting. Western Wyoming all gas, no brakes to start this game. 5 minutes in, 4 shots, 2 on, both in. They have tipped the pitch to the south side of the field. High ball booted out by the Plainswoman defense. Calmed down quickly for Western Wyoming. Hannah Harris gets it back after giving it off to Gossett. Harris dribbling across the middle of the pitch, trying to work her way in there is Valerie Chavez. Cannot take the ball away. Ball ends up on the foot of Western Wyoming, and the Plainswomen with Addie Johnson getting in the way, and a good take for Caitlin Anderson that sails wide left of the goal. 6 minutes in, Plainswomen down 2-0 and trying to find their first offense of the game. Not even sustained offense, but just any of it. Soft roll back to Ashlyn Godfrey. Dribbled down into the near side. Taken away for Western Wyoming. Trish Chavez steps in, captain and captain with Caitlin Anderson battling for the ball. Dribbled down on the near side. Good job keeping her footing for Western Wyoming by Gossett as she got past Rusko and Braun for the Northeastern Plainswomen. The Plainswomen forced to foot it out deep on the near touchline. 7 minutes in, 2-0, half one in favor of Western Wyoming. Ball crossed and off the outside of the goal as Hannah Harris attempted to find a teammate across the middle. Plainswomen utilizing that possession model, trying to work on the ground and build something, but Western Wyoming is winning that middle third of the pitch. Aside of the opening push for NJC that did not result in a shot, they've not been able to do much of anything in the middle of the pitch. Luna Dominguez rolls it off near side, finding Allie Marling. High ball booted up for the Plainswomen by Wyke, but quickly called by Western Wyoming and booted up to the far side in a delayed sprint for Anderson. She works herself to the left with Triz Chavez on her, and Triz is able to dislodge the ball off her foot, but can't clear it out. Marling has to come back into that left back defensive position to run it down. Her clears picked up by Dylan Anderson for Western Wyoming and crossed far side. Bounces wide of the intended Mustang target. It will be a Northeastern throw as the Plainswomen will make a substitution. Peyton Race coming on for Calissa White. Race will be one of the two forwards now with Savannah Thompson. Outside of, again, that opening push, those forwards haven't been able to get much involved. See if they can do it here. Ball footed forward for NJC by Val Chavez. Thompson giving chase and forced a clear out on the near line for Dylan Anderson. So created that pressure to hopefully create a little bit of an offensive opportunity, down 2-0, 9 minutes in this Region 9 contest. Matchup between number 1 and number 3 in the region. Ruscombe Braun tries to cross, comes up short of her intended target, and Western Wyoming with a quick counter through. Ball rolled up, but a high boot back onto the defensive side. Plainswomen just trying to give themselves a chance to get some footing here as Western Wyoming, using just 3 backline defenders, heads the ball up, and Race will chase it down. She looks for a cross that goes off the back netting behind the goal, so nothing servicing there. Most teams utilize 4 backline defenders, but Western Wyoming has just the 3, adding an extra midfielder that creates additional opportunities to win that middle third of the pitch that they have done so well through the first portion of this game. Goal kick out to the midfield stripe, and Addie Johnson will come away with it. Boots it back to Marseille Edwards, who then flops it up forward. Thompson calms it down, pushes it back to Allie Marling. Marling got underneath it a little bit. Ball takes a funky hop off a chest, and the Plainswomen try and work it in over the top. Clear out, falls down. Race will boot it just behind the advancing Savannah Thompson. Clear out near side. Marling collides, and our first foul of the game will come on the Northeastern Plainswomen as Marling went hard to try and get that ball. Her and McKady Jenks ended up on the pitch at the Plainswomen's instigation, I guess, if you will. 11 minutes in, 2-0 on the Gordon Insurance scoreboard. Be prepared for everything life throws at you. Car insurance, life insurance, farm insurance, crop insurance, Gordon Insurance. 970-526-6139. Kick off the penalty back onto the offensive side for Western Wyoming. They'll work it in the back half of the offensive zone. Push back out, looking for a big ball over the top. Down onto the far side for Gossett. Gossett now working that left forward position. She and McKady Jenks traded places at the last goal kick on the side of the pitch that they were at. Plainswomen briefly possess the ball in the middle third. Can't do anything with it as Western Wyoming takes it back. Stepping up, Peterson. She threads one through, bounces off Trish Chavez onto a Mustang foot. Chavez able to back foot it clear, and then the shot bends wide right of the goal and out on the end line from Caitlin Anderson. Plainswomen will make a substitution as exiting will be Savannah Thompson. Back on comes Calissa White, who garnered the start. Because of the injuries, the Plainswomen with the 5 subs and then the 1 goalkeeper, so 6 off that bench. Injuries have worn on this team in the start of the year as they will not play their first road game of the year until October. That's usually when the injuries wear on you, but starting to wear on these home games. Header up off the goal kick, bouncing back for Western Wyoming and funneled back on to goalkeeper Barton by the Mustangs, and they'll build with that possession from the backside of the pitch. Rolls it forward to McKady Jenks. Jenks up the near touch line. Give and go. Jenks is beat to the spot by Trish Chavez as the Plainswomen were cramped up. NJC utilizes their wing backs forward on the offense. So if you get a quick counter over the top, at times NJC will just clear it out to try and calm it down. Put it out of that backside and back for Western Wyoming. Go their 3 defenders. Good form from their defenders and not allowing any opportunities for NJC in the early stages of this game. And you can see why this team is traditionally one of the top inside the region. They're well coached. They're very disciplined. High ball over the top. Pressure being created by Peyton Race, but a funnel back by Mackenzie Osborne. Had to be a quick clear by the goalkeeper, though. Alexandria Barton clears it over her team's tents on the east side of the pitch here at Plainsman Park. Plainsman down 2-0. 14 minutes in. Throw in immediately taken away for Western Wyoming and a quick dribble through. Collision. Anderson working far side with Triz Chavez on her right hip. Looks for a cross. Triz blocks it. And then it is ushered out by Caitlin Anderson for her first corner of the game. Caitlin Anderson will get that corner kick. She'll set up on the far corner for an in-swinging kick. As the Mustangs build bodies and advance toward the goal. Quick low-line drive in, headed down for the Plainswomen defense. And another corner developed after Allie Marling headed it out. So the first one unsuccessful. The Plainswomen kind of got a little bit of a feel of what Western Wyoming is attempting to work with those bodies near the top of the 18 and the semicircle. Cadence Barber is the one that advances toward the goal, and I believe the intended target on that corner as Ashlyn Godfrey comes in. She doesn't ever have the opportunity to get to the ball as another header for Allie Marling ends up being cleared out far side. Caitlin Anderson picks it up for Western Wyoming. With the left, she tries and serves it in. Marseille Edwards blocks it. Edwards then takes it off her foot and fires it out on the far touchline. I like Marseille and her speed. Obviously, you utilize her speed as one of those wingbackers because she is able to cover a great amount of the pitch. A crossover far side just over the head of McKinney Jenks. The midfielder was forward and gets the ball in the 18. She tries to curve it toward the upper edge of the goal. It did not curve, and the Mustangs sell one out on the end line. 7 shots, 2 on, both in, both 4-minute goals scored by Cadence Barber, who has a brace. 16 minutes in, it is 2-0 in favor of Western Wyoming. Plainswomen make a substitution here as Lucy Clark, the sophomore from Scotland, comes in. First Western Wyoming sub of the game. That is Maddie Miller, sophomore from Utah, that takes over in that forward spot that has been occupied by Caitlin Anderson. Anderson with 3 shots, none on. Ball rolled forward for the Plainswomen off of the goalie restart. Threader wide of the target as Race and Wyke attempting to work. Race racing down into the upper edge of the 18 on the left side. Can't come up with the ball, and Western Wyoming foots it forward, but too far for Maddie Miller. Caitlin Anderson, a very different forward than Maddie Miller. Miller, a steadier pace. There's not that burst of speed, but she is just going to wear at you. A good change in the look on the front side of that, but the passes have to change from those midfielders as well as you have a change in those front side players. Plainswomen, after the ball goes out far side, get a throw, header up, taken away, but then taken right back for NJC. Wyke, she puts it forward, looking for Race. It can't get past Lizzie Cowley's leg, and Cowley ushers it down to the far corner where Western Wyoming will look to quickly threaten forward. Marseille Edwards takes the ball away on a pass forward. She tries to sprint in front of the Western Wyoming bench, but it rolls out before she can get to the third touch in, and a Western Wyoming throw the result. B&J Plumbing has you covered with all your plumbing problems. 970-522-3828, because those plumbing problems will arise and they'll take care of you. Plainsmen, this is the first time they've started to kind of tip that pitch back toward the midfield. It has been heavily leaning Western Wyoming's offensive way. Not able to come up with much anything off that offense, but maybe to give yourself a little bit of an opportunity and a takeaway here. Can you build through with it? Lucy Clark. Ball launched up forward. Western Wyoming battling to take it back pretty quickly, and Dylan Anderson. Anderson puts it forward. Give and go down on the near side between Jenks and the entered in Miller. Miller working in. She'll try and serve across off the corner. High ball sailing over everybody's head. Came up a little too strong for Allie Barron, who also came in last whistle to be able to run it down. She's working that left side of the pitch as a forward. A takeaway from Gracie Thorson as the Plainsmen try to clear it out. Second clear will be successful as White calms it down at the midfield pitch. She puts one through up to the near side, finding the foot of Peyton Race, who works in the left of the 18. Turns and fires one and can't bend it back across, but the Plainsmen's first shot of the game comes from Peyton Race nearly 20 minutes in. Exiting the pitch will be Trinity Moreland. On for NJC will come Gisela Orozco. Orozco working in that defensive spot. Trish Chavez now the center back defensively. Plainsmen take the goal kick away. Val Chavez rolls it just wide of Luna Dominguez, and Western Wyoming immediately repossesses. Cadence Barber dribbling through the middle of the pitch. Barber puts it down into the far corner for Lily Peterson, her far touchline, as she'll work toward that corner. High shot fires up and just to the right of the goal from Lily Peterson. Ashlyn Godfrey wasn't so certain that one was not going to drop into that upper right corner. A beautiful long-range take for Western Wyoming. Plainsmen get the ball taken away off the restart. Jenks down in the near corner. Jenks battling for it and lost it out on the end line for the goal kick. Battle the 21 minutes or so of gameplay here. I would bet Western Wyoming has owned possession of the ball at least 16. That's a pretty heavy advantage for them. Plainsmen will let Trish Chavez handle the goal kick. The defender boots it wide, and it's taken by Western Wyoming and forced out on the far touchline for the Plainsmen. Couple subs for the Western Wyoming Mustangs. See Ellie Jensen for the first time, as well as Naomi Thorson. Off the far side, a service across, knocked down for the Plainsmen. Ball gets loose. 22-23 out and fired wide right of the goal. Mustangs keeping their pressure on, though. Plainsmen have to find a way to change that. Wide of the intended target, far side, Marseille Edwards. Takeaway off the throw by the Plainsmen, but only possessed once. Edwards trying to wreak havoc. She comes through and takes the ball away. Race tries to give it back to Edwards. It's taken off her foot off a hard ball, and Western Wyoming works up the near side. McKitty Jenks touch, give, go. Near side, Maddie Miller back to Jenks. Jenks looking for the dribble across. Works to her left. Plainsmen funnel it away, and then Trish Chavez clears it out on the near side. Plainsmen have a couple subs at the box. Back onto the pitch will come Savannah Thompson. Exiting will be Race on her side, and then Luna Dominguez takes a seat. Felicity Shelton returns for the Plainswomen. Halfway through half one, 2-0 Western Wyoming. Ball banged across off the quick toss-in, taken away for NJC by Roscoe. She tries to fire it out once and twice, both times immediately possessed by Western Wyoming. Short of the intended target comes the pass of Anderson, but a good recovery there and a little soft roller launched in by Maddie Miller and gobbled up by Aisling Godfrey. So, first shot on in nearly 20 minutes for Western Wyoming. First save of the contest for Aisling Godfrey. Trying to dribble through for the Plainswoman was Felicity Shelton. Too many touches. Western Wyoming takes it. Cross across toward the near side, and a hard slide in to try and save it from Hess. Oakley Hess, the sophomore from Utah, but could not keep it within the stripes. Boot out from the goal, lost out far side for Western Wyoming. Quick throw in for Marseille Edwards, given back to Edwards. Orozco gets underneath it, chops it up near the center stripe. Savannah Thompson trying to find some room out in front, keeping pressure on and forces the roll all the way back to Barton on the goalkeeper. Thompson just going to give chase. She's going to try and create a turnover in the offensive zone. Short of the intended target came Dylan Anderson. She'll try and work it across the middle, and it's chipped up and forward. Hard chase for Oakley Hess. Hess comes up with it. It's working back to her left in the middle of the field. Hess turns, tries a bender in, booted up by Orozco out of that center back defense, and bouncing to the near side. Western Wyoming calms it down, tries to re-enter it in. Plainswomen knock it back out toward the midfield line, and Wyke will pick it up. She gives it off to Johnson. Rolled to the far side for Marseille Edwards. They want to get her in space and let her dribble and create some opportunity, but Western Wyoming's done a good job of calming her down. Ball tried to be dropped through, pushed back out for the Plainswomen by Trish Chavez. Down on the far side, a quick sprint into the corner. Service across over the head of Godfrey. Cleared out on the end line for the Plainswomen. So shot never turned on. Third corner produced of it, as the only option for the Plainswomen and Lucy Clark was to get the work done in the box and shut things down. Will produce to a corner, though, in a dangerous spot for the Plainswomen to have to defend here. Come out of the near side with 18:45 to go in the first half, and McKinney Jenks will be taking that corner. Booting it up and short. Now try for a second service in. Ball headed up, knocked down for the Plainswomen. Picked up in the box for Western Wyoming and cleared out. Good bit of defense by Trish Chavez there in spite of multiple pressure opportunities for Western Wyoming. Marseille Edwards serves the ball up to the near side, and Savannah Thompson giving chase. Thompson comes and calms it down quickly. Thompson working through, backs out toward the near side. Taken, rolled down onto the near side, and Lucy Clark. Lucy blocks the clear attempt toward the sideline. Western Wyoming will try and turn it up and succeeds in turning it up with Dylan Anderson to Oakley Hess. Hess dribbling through, ball picked up on the near side, pushing on to the near line as Hess will cross it through. Back out, taken away by NJC is Lily Peterson, the intended target. Instead, Felicity Shelton comes up with it. 17.5 to go in the first half. The Plainswomen trail Western Wyoming 2-0. Western Wyoming trying to find another, but NJC, since the 2 fourth-minute goals, have withstood the storm of the Western Wyoming Mustangs pretty well. Sydney Regional Medical Center doesn't want you letting that injury keeping you out of the game. SydneyRMC.com or visit with Sydney Regional Medical Center in Sydney, Nebraska. Quick throw in for the Plainswomen. Funky hop on the boot attempt from Orozco, taken away for Western Wyoming. They have numbers as they run forward. Ellie Jensen pushing back. Long ball launched toward by Miller, blocked, ends up back on her foot. Bender to the near side, knocked down by Lucy Clark, and the Plainswomen will foot it out to the far side. Mustangs throw in far side. Ball taken by the Plainswomen and booted out near the center stripe as they tried to bend it forward. So the Plainswomen will see Western Wyoming make a substitution here. Mustangs returning Jordan Gossett to the right forward position. Off the throw, Val Chavez nearly gets the takeaway. Gracie Thorson comes away with the ball. Marseille Edwards off that right back defense position, boots it back toward the midfield stripe, knocked down for Western Wyoming. Ball rolled in harmlessly on the take from Naomi Thorson and scooped up easily by Ashlyn Godfrey. Boot out toward the midfield stripe, picked up for the Northeastern Plainswomen. Pushing onto the near side, Savannah Thompson, the intended target, and the defense funnels Savannah Thompson away from the opportunity. Initial creation there by Calissa White. So the Northeastern Plainswomen still down 2-0, but starting to create a little bit more offense. Western Wyoming quickly puts it through on the far side, and it just unable to be possessed long enough to turn into anything as it rolls in on Godfrey. Boot back out to the center stripe. Marseille Edwards rolls it forward to Felicity Shelton, and Shelton loses it out on the far touchline. Subs at the line for both squads for NJC. That will bring starters Trinity Moreland and Allie Marling back in. Lucy Clark and Val Chavez taking a seat. Inbound pass thrown for Western Wyoming. They made a defensive sub here. Maya Pippin is the first one in. She's working one of those back defenses. Through ball goes too much of its namesake through. Intended for Wyke, who gives chase. Wyke and Thompson have been exceptional in the forward regard today. Really creating some opportunities offensively, and we have a Plainswoman down, and already down a couple bodies because of injury. It's Marseille Edwards. She's up and waves the trainer off. I think offside was actually ended up being the ultimate call there from previous. The Plainswomen boot it forward toward Marseille Edwards, headed out by the Western Wyoming defense. Plainswomen quick toss in, give back. Shelton, and Shelton loses it out as the defense for Western Wyoming again, too much to handle. Naomi Thorson out of that midfield on essentially a back check. Plainswomen take away the ball in the midfield stripe, headed up again for Western Wyoming and back to the center line. Ruscone Braun put it back to Trish Chavez, who will put the big boot forward. Just a bit out of the reach of Trinity Moreland, and she's unable to chase it down into the near corner. So it's a very deep Western Wyoming throw after the pass from Trish Chavez, 2 wide. 2-0 Western Wyoming, 12 to go in the first half. Mustangs taking it. Allie Marling trying to dislodge it off the foot of Ellie Jensen, and it goes out off of Marling. The Plainswomen trying to create an opportunity. The throw goes out off the Plainswomen again, just eating real estate up the near side with headers out, headers out, headers out, and now all of a sudden Western Wyoming's into the offensive zone. The Mustangs look to create something with Naomi Thorson. Thorson, through ball, dropped in. Ashlyn Godfrey coming out just before Oakley Hess gets there. Hess, off that through ball, nearly sprinted in on it. Ball gets loose after the clear back out to the middle. Johnson puts it back on Osborne. High ball booted forward down onto the near side for Gossett. Gossett loses it briefly, works into the corner. Her cross is blocked, so she serves it on the ground back across. And quickly up to the top of the semicircle go the Mustangs and Thorson. Thorson's ball in, knocked down by the Plainswomen defense. Western Wyoming whistle for their first foul of the game in the ensuing scrum for the ball. So Plainswomen try and get something. If you can get even just one back before halftime, you're feeling much better in this game. You gave up those 2 goals, but have weathered the storm since. Couple saves by her goalkeeper. The Mustangs, you find that third one before halftime. This one's as good as done. Long ball from 25-26 from Miller bounces in. Godfrey scoops it up. Out toward midfield goes the big ball, again headed down and possessed by Western Wyoming. Quick touch. Down into the far corner in a sprint. The Plainswomen looking to give chase. Marseille Edwards as Oakley Hess comes across behind her intended target, and then the shot bends wide right. Hess missed her intended target, but instead found Gossett's foot, and Gossett rockets it wide left to the goal. Each side with a substitute coming in at this whistle. I believe Caitlin Anderson. No, pardon me, that's not Anderson. That's Marissa Manserrano. Get the vowels and the consonants in the appropriate position. Plainswomen bring Val Chavez back on, and she'll work that midfield position. Ruscon Braun. Off to Allie Marling. Her through ball doesn't get through. Pippin boots it up. Calm down for Western Wyoming and Gossett. Gossett onto the foot of Manserrano. Manserrano's cross taken away for the Plainswomen, but then too hot to handle for Marling. Marling keeps pressure on, and Savannah Thompson continues the pressure, but Western Wyoming finds a seam up the far side. Oakley Hess, with Marseille Edwards on her hip, launches it high of the goal. 14 shots, 5 on for Western Wyoming. Definitely making the most of their possession time advantage with just more than 8 to go in the first half. Addison Johnson short of Allie Marling. The entry taken away by Western Wyoming, but then lost quickly, and then lost just as quickly back by the Plainswomen. Manserrano spins it in to the far side for Oakley Hess. Hess was offside. The initial block of the entry in got her just that step forward, and she couldn't take the step back to be able to be on when that pass was made. Trish Chavez puts the boot into it. Out near the midfield line, Savannah Thompson trying to calm it down, gets it taken off her foot on this Saturday afternoon, and the Mustangs re-engage. Roll down to the far side. Trish Chavez just clears it out behind her bench. Western Wyoming throw in the offensive half in minute number 38. Mustangs. Ball bangs off a Mustang body and out, trying to work it in, but maybe a little hot to handle for Naomi Thorson. Plainsman try and boot something up and forward. Popped up high by Wyke, who's pressuring back on the front side with Savannah Thompson. Ball dislodged by the Plainswoman, but not quick enough to do anything with it. Down onto the near side go the Mustangs, and Pippin, she's going into the teeth of that wind. Picked up here just in the last little bit, and maybe that'll create an opportunity for NJC to work something in the final few. Ball dumped far side, goes out on the end line. Problem solving. Deep throw for the Northeastern Plainswomen. Chopped out by Western Wyoming, so we'll do it again. See if NJC can't get their first shot on in the game. They've only attempted one shot in the first half. It was a great break by Peyton Race. But the Plainswomen couldn't do anything with that on the ensuing throw. A Plainswoman player ended up offside. 40th minute, half one, 2-0. The tied for first Western Wyoming Mustangs, and the outright third Northeastern Plainswomen. It's all been all Western Wyoming so far on this Saturday afternoon. Pippin dribbles through, foots off to the near side, chasing down to the corner. Plainswomen attempting to usher it out of bounds. It dies before it goes out, and forced out by the Plainswomen by Trinity Moreland off Manserrano. So the Plainswomen will be afforded their substitution as Luna Dominguez comes back in. Luna coming in for Trinity Moreland. 4.5 to go in the first half. Got to be able to take something positive from you this first half if you're in NJC. See if they can't find it in the final four. Boot up toward the midfield line, bounces back, and Western Wyoming. Quick curve to get it back forward from Mackenzie Osborne in return. But a good job for the Northeastern Plainswomen as Allie Marling dislodges it. Marling coming in. She puts it forward for Savannah Thompson. Thompson back to Marling on the far side. Collision between Marling and Cowley. Ball goes out off of Western Wyoming. So it's a Northeastern throw with 3:40 to go in the first half. Throw in immediately taken away for Western Wyoming and Oakley Hess. It's her pass is taken off her foot by Orozco. We pepper it back and forth, changing possession in the middle third. Western Wyoming ultimately calms it down, and now multiple touches on the same possession. Thorson trying to take it through. It's taken off her foot by Orozco. Plainswomen looking for numbers. Chipping it forward. Wyke finds Thompson. Thompson turns, serves it back across. It bounces behind the defense, and called off is the defense. It's Alexandria Barton, the goalkeeper, comes over and will swallow it up. 3 to go in the first half. Boot out toward the midfield line. Val Chavez knocked it down. Plainswomen try and serve it up over the top with Riscon Braun. It's headed back out to the Mustangs, and they work from the midfield. Now they work a big ball up, but the wind pushes the ball intended for Oakley Hess out behind the Plainswoman bench. Throw for NJC. Thompson. She spins and looks to do some work. When the Plainswomen have been able to get it on the offensive side, Thompson, Race, Wyke, they've all been able to create something. They just haven't been able to comfortably get it there. Marling picks it up. She flips it forward, near side. Luna Dominguez chasing it down. The bender comes over to the near side. It'll be a Northeastern throw with just 1:45 to go in the first half. Selena Mendoza-Meeks will see her first action for NJC. And the Western Wyoming Mustangs will bring Shelby Mickelson in. 90 seconds to go in the first half with NJC down 2-0. Dominguez, threader in, bounces beyond the defense. Savannah Thompson can't quite beat the Mustangs to the spot as Ellie Jensen will win that. Western Wyoming tries a big through ball that's knocked down. They'll then work it through, and staying on side up the far side comes Oakley Hess. Hess has numbers. Plainsman quickly retreating. Hess fires it in, bangs it off the crossbar. The rebound into the back of the net for the Western Wyoming Mustangs. Hess with the shot that ripped off the crossbar. The rebound by Naomi Thorson goes in minute number 44, and it is now 3-0 in favor of the Western Wyoming Mustangs. All created by Oakley Hess, making that sprint up the far side. And just one counter over the top is all it took for Western Wyoming to make 2-0 into 3-0. Now the Plainsmen, they just want to hold on and get an opportunity to regroup. Said at the beginning, you want to be able to come away with your home games with a good amount of points. You're at 9 right now. You'd hope you'd be able to take the game Friday against Lamar next week. That's your sophomore day. You always want to win that one. So if you have 12 there, you still need to come up with 4 more points elsewhere. Casper, Gillette, Central Wyoming, and Northwest Wyoming all on the road in the month of October. Quick throw in after the ball goes out far side. Plainsman footed out on the end line. Just 10 seconds left. The wind is coming off that far corner. I don't know that Western Wyoming is going to get a corner taken. They get a quick start, but unable to do anything with it. We go to halftime with the Plainsmen trailing Western Wyoming 3-0. Coming up on 94.5 The Ranch, we will relive some of the history between the Plainsmen and the Mustangs. It's been all Mustangs in half one on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. So we welcome you back to Plainsman Park, heading toward half number 2. The Northeastern Junior College Plainswomen and the Western Wyoming Mustangs doing battle on this Saturday afternoon. The winds definitely picked up quite a bit here on this Saturday afternoon at our halftime. And the Western Wyoming Mustangs hold a 3-0 lead as we head toward the second half. 15-1 the shot advantages in this ball game for the Western Wyoming Mustangs. The Plainswomen had one shot that went just left of the goal in the latter stages of the first half. It was all Western Wyoming. They scored goals within 30 seconds of one another in the fourth minute, and then a final minute goal in the first half to have the 3-0 advantage. As we head to the second half, the Plainswomen will be going from left to right, and the Mustangs from right to left. The Plainswomen will begin with the opening possession. Our second half is brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Borrow your money and do your banking with people you know and people who know you. Stop by their locations across the eastern plains of Colorado or equitable-savings.com. Western Wyoming, 2 goals in the fourth minute by Cadence Barber, and then a rebound by Naomi Thorson in the 44th minute for the results in half number 1. Plainswomen, of course, are down a couple players, most notably Aaliyah Dukes, who has been one of the key instigators out of that defense and maybe the team's best winger this season. Wing and wing back. Mustangs take it away. She broke her arm in practice on Thursday. So that has definitely been a challenge for NJC, and with just the one training to be able to find the form without her. Ball bounces on the near side and out right in front of us as the second half gets underway. Plainswomen modification to their starters in the second half. Lucy Clark is one of the wing backs. Also on the pitch is Gisela Roscoe. She is the other wing back. Plainswomen look like they've gone to a 5-defenseman format, which is a different look than what they utilized in the first half. Gracie Thorson with the big take and wide left of the goal. It was 82 degrees when we got underway here this afternoon. It's still that now, but the wind went from virtually non-existent to about 17, 18 miles an hour. So it doesn't feel like the 80s right now, but the Plainswomen going into the teeth of the wind in this second half, down 3-0. Western Wyoming should have a better opportunity to be able to tilt the pitch, but they're going to have to rein in their power. They take the ball away in the middle of the pitch, turn and working to the right. Trish Chavez comes over and takes the ball off the foot of Cadence Barber, who had the 2 goals in the fourth minute. Service out of the corner, crossed in, missing the save for the Northeastern Plainswoman was Godfrey, and the ball falls right onto the foot. Give the assist to McKady Jenks on the ball, and the Western Wyoming Mustangs now have a 4-0 lead. And Jordan Gossett will get the goal, number 23 for the Western Wyoming Mustangs. Not even 3 minutes into the second half. So the Plainswomen thought they had it funneled down into the corner, and it's now down 4-0 on the crosser from McKady Jenks out of the left corner that just bent right in, and the Mustangs immediately take the ball away off the restart. Hannah Harris, the one that created that turnover. Mustangs quickly sprinting up the far side. Caitlin Anderson, most shots in this game, hasn't turned one of them on goal. She pushes it down into the corner. Service across behind the goal from Jordan Gossett. The Western Wyoming Mustangs looking to get 6 on the road trip to Lamar and Sterling. Depending results today with Casper. I don't recall who they have, but Casper probably will move. If they take all 3 of their points, they'll move into 3rd, and Laramie County would be tied for 1st with Western Wyoming if they take the win. Shot ripped high of the goal from Caitlin Anderson, her 4th shot of the game. First of the second half, and the Northeastern Plainswomen have not been able to succeed what they've wanted to do offensively, especially the way the last couple weekends have gone for NJC. With the Mercy Rule win against Trinidad in their league opener, and then the come from behind win against Otero after losing to Laramie County 4-0 to bounce back and take the 3-1 win against WNCC last Saturday. Things were feeling good for them, but last 7 days have been a little rough from the injury department. Takeaway for Western Wyoming on the throw-in. Ball rolled in, booted across, and then a block on the chance coming in off the near side from McKady Jenks. So the defense did not let that get through. Ball bounced out. Luna Dominguez battling for position, but Western Wyoming possessing it very, very well. Lily Peterson will be giving it off a back foot by Jenks. Peterson gives it back toward Jenks. Bounces off the foot of Barber. Barber then rolls it back into Anderson. Anderson turns and rips one high of the goal. That's 5 shots in the game for Caitlin Anderson for Western Wyoming. Unable to turn that one down on the post. And again, with that wind blowing from our right to our left, there's a lot of power in a lot of those Western Wyoming legs, and they haven't been able to rain it down with that wind at their back. Ball out on the near side, so it'll be a throw for the Western Wyoming Mustangs. 6 minutes into the second half, a goal since halftime. They now have a 4-0 lead. Throw in taken away by Calissa Wyke. Wyke works it back. Shelton tries to boot it, and it sails wide and out behind the fans on the offensive half. Mustangs throw in up the line. Plainswomen chase it down to the corner. Ball through. Tried to be cleared out by Trish Chavez. Battle for the ball dislodged. Blocked again as Anderson's trying her mightiest to get one in and on. It was blocked for NJC. Ball flipped forward. Luna Dominguez the intended target. The wind caused it to hang up. Trish Chavez came out worse for wear from that last offensive push, but she's going to be tested again. Foul whistled on the Plainswomen. That's the thing about that first half. We only had 1 foul whistled each way. The physicality was not there. We saw last Saturday for NJC against WNCC an immense amount of physicality both ways. Saw it the previous weekend as well against Otero. Not the case in this one here today. Off the foul, a couple paces off the near side. Peterson bends it toward the right corner, but it sailed a little too high on her. The Plainswomen will make a substitution. 7 and change into the second half. Luna Dominguez will take a seat, and Trinity Morling comes in for her. Plainswomen created 1 offensive opportunity in the first half. A shot that went left of the goal. Wind pushes the big launch attempt from Roscoe Braun out of the back of that defense. Out on the near touchline and a Western Wyoming throw. Dropped in. Cross to the far side. Plainswomen booted up high after the clear-out attempt. Ball calmed down, trying to chase it back. Plainsmen dribble it through, and then the bounce up to the near side rolls out as Felicity Shelton tries to whip it back. Mustangs throw in. Foot down toward the near corner, and McKady Jenks. Jenks dribbles in with her left. Tries to push back toward the top of the 18, taken away, and Roscoe Braun can't keep it turned within the white lines once again. She's becoming visibly more and more frustrated with herself. Mustangs pick it up, ball bent far side. Lucy Clark puts the boot into it, and the push puts it out on the end line. So it will lead to a Western Wyoming corner kick to be taken by McKady Jenks. Jenks will kick it into the teeth of the wind with the left, keeping it on the ground to allow that possession in. She rips one across, headed down in the box, bounces off a body, and Trish Chavez knocks down the opportunity. And stepping out and blocking the in from Peterson is Shelton. Mustangs still possess it, cross over to the far side, and Jordan Gossett, who has the goal in the second half. 10 minutes in, half two, 4-0, Western Wyoming. Out of the far corner, ball brought in. Anderson fires it in and underneath. Finally finding the back of the net, Caitlin Anderson. She scores in minute number 55 on her 6th shot of the game. And Western Wyoming will get an assist from Jordan Gossett on that one. So Gossett was assisted by Jenks, and then assisting on the Anderson goal. That now makes it 5-0 in favor of Western Wyoming. Plainsmen just really needing to find something right now. Still have a lot of the season left to play, but this is one that could be a big-time detriment if you cannot find a result or even a shot. You haven't turned one on goal in this game. You've got to do something here. With just the one game next week, you're going to have a lot of training and a lot of time to think about it. And then the final 4 on the road for the Northeastern Plainsmen. Subs in, 2 for NJC, 1 for Western Wyoming. 11 minutes into the second half. Selena Mendoza-Meeks will come in, replacing Marseille Edwards. First time Marseille's taken a seat today. Plainsmen get Annabelle Padilla, the freshman from Sterling, onto the pitch as well for the first time today. So it's a Northeastern throw in the offensive end. Orozco now working the right back defense, chops it forward to Padilla, who foots it off, trying to find some room as Wyke, but the ball's taken away for Western Wyoming. Trish Chavez boots it up high, calmed down off the teeth of that wind, turn for Wyke to the far side for Meeks, booted up for Western Wyoming back toward the midfield stripe. This is the longest possession NJC's had in their offensive half today. Foot back, Trish Chavez trying to calm it down. It's taken away for Western Wyoming by Gossett. Gossett rolls it down to Anderson. Anderson was offside. The typical last line of defense had slipped attempting to retreat. That meant Trish Chavez was the last defender in front of the goalkeeper. And Orozco is still, Roscoe Braun, pardon me, she's center back. She's still hobbled up from that slip. So Trish Chavez puts the boot into it. It hangs up high on the teeth of the wind. Calmed down for the Northeastern Plainsmen. Bangs off a couple bodies after Marling put the boot into it. Western Wyoming takes it back and lofts it forward for Trish Chavez to be able to chase it down. Triz reversing field toward the far side where Western Wyoming repossesses it, and Gossett Sprints down onto the right corner. Gossett off the dribble. Drops it down to Harris in the corner. Pushing back out goes Western Wyoming. Flip free from Dylan Anderson. Her ball in, knocked down. Picked up, and again, maybe a foot stepped on there for Trish Chavez as she comes out worse for the wear. Throw in immediately taken away by Western Wyoming. Booted across the field where Meeks is able to come and swipe it. Allie Marling touches back. Nearly 15 minutes into the second half, now 5-0 Western Wyoming. Mustangs roll it down to Caitlin Anderson, far corner. Anderson trying to dribble it in. Her cross in, booted back out toward the far side, hangs up, stays in. Anderson picks it up from 10, bends it near side, and one-timed off the ground and into the back of the net. McKady Jenks gets herself a goal. So 59th minute, Jenks finds the back of the net. Anderson with the assist. After 3 unassisted goals in the first half, all 3 in the second half have been assisted for Western Wyoming, who now have a 6-0 lead. And they've cleaned house in off their bench. All their starters are exiting now. Caitlin Anderson, Lizzie Cowley, both of whom have not been on the pitch all game, or have been on the pitch the entire game. They're off. Off comes Gossett, who has the score as well. A lot of new faces out there for the Western Wyoming Mustangs. If you're NJC, you just have to, again, you've got to come up with something here that you can take a small consolation prize from this game. Try and build something that, hey, we've got 31 minutes of live game practice that we can work with here. That's got to be the focus right now. Ball footed back for the Northeastern Plainswomen. Calmed down quickly for the Mustangs and launched forward by Naomi Thorson. Thorson down into the far corner finds Oakley Hess. Hess hits a crosser that skips off the crossbar top side. Another great look for the Western Wyoming Mustangs. Hess, who played late in half number 1, able to get a great look there. Plainswomen will return. Savannah Thompson Trish Chavez taking a seat, so the Plainswomen drastically changing their back line now. Clark will be a center back as opposed to a wing back. Annabelle Padilla and Selena Mendoza Meeks are the forwards. Third forward is Kalissa Wyke, who's been there all game long. Throw in taken for Western Wyoming. Plainswomen battle it back, and out of the center back now Trinity Moreland puts one up, but it's headed down for Western Wyoming, and Allie Barron, the sophomore from Utah, will pick it up. Finds Naomi Thorson. She's got a big leg. Rolls it in to Oakley Hess. Hess turns down into the corner. A cross attempt from Jensen blocked by Meeks. Kept on the foot of Jensen. Ball bangs off a body and in to be swallowed up by Godfrey. Give the shot there to Maddie Miller, her third of the game. Western Wyoming, 23 shots, 10 on. Plainswomen 1 shot, none on. That's the lopsided offensive tallies that we've had this afternoon. As the Mustangs continue to prove why they've, for the last several years, been one of the elite programs inside this region. Western Wyoming, Laramie County, Casper, really since the COVID year, it's been your top three inside this region. Western Wyoming had several great, or Western Nebraska had several great years. Otero's been up and down, hit and miss in the last decade. NJC had that run up right around COVID as well. That kind of end in 2022 for them, and they're trying to get back there. And this is a heck of a start for NJC. I mean, you still cannot be unhappy if you're the Plainswomen with 9 points at home, a chance for 12 on Friday at 3 o'clock against Lamar. But you would have liked to have gotten maybe a point each against Laramie County and here against Western Wyoming to feel a little better about yourself. Ball worked in, block on the shot, fall onto the foot of Ellie Jensen, and Jensen is saved by Ashley Godfrey. Boot out to the midfield stripe. Western Wyoming wins the ball into the teeth of that wind again. Plainswomen trying to keep it on the ground now as Western Wyoming just rips a through ball from Maya Pippin. That's run down by Ashlyn Godfrey. Godfrey boots it back out to the midfield line. Still 26 minutes to go in this contest. The Mustangs calm it down. Anderson, big shot. That's Dylan Anderson. That's saved again by Ashlyn Godfrey with the wind at her back. Put that one up from better than 30. Into the wind, Godfrey's drop kick is calmed down for Western Wyoming. Trish Chavez, she actually did exit. She's out as one of the forwards now for the Plainswomen, kind of changing their form, maybe letting Chavez try and create an opportunity on the offensive end, but the Plainswomen have been able to sustain it in across from the defense for NJC. Marling was trying to cross it onto the near side, and the wind pushed it in to be gobbled up by Godfrey. Trish Chavez knocks the ball down at the midfield line, pushes through contact. Marling battling with it, loses it. Aaliyah Barron, she tries to cross, and it's taken away for the Plainswomen by Addison Johnson. Johnson a little too hot to be pulled down by Trish Chavez. Quickly check in. Thorson rolls it onto the near side for Barron. The Roscoe giving it chase. Crossed in, header up, and falls onto the foot of the Mustangs. Give the goal to Oakley Hess. Hess on her fourth shot of the game makes it 7-0. A cross that just sailed up on that wind, and the Western Wyoming Mustangs in the 65th minute now have a 7-0 advantage. Hess finds the back of the net, another assisted goal for the Mustangs. Give this assist to Barron. This is going to be the most lopsided result in the history of the series between NJC and Western Wyoming. I believe 3-0 was the most lopsided result ever between these two, with the high possession rate game that both these clubs have traditionally played. Plainswomen make a change of goal as Hannah Flores comes in. Marling takes it for NJC off the foot of a Mustang on the midfield line. Marling rolls it shy of Annabelle Padilla on the near side. Trish Chavez can't quite contain it as she steps through on the near side. Western Wyoming will take it back with just more than 24 minutes remaining. Rudy's Tires has locations all across the area, so if you have a tire problem, on the farm. They can come to you or you can bring it to them. Rudy'sTires.com for more information. Throw up the near side. Mustangs take it away with Hannah Harris dribbling across the middle. She hits a crosser that's calmed down onto the far side from Michelson. Back in. Brought. Savannah Thompson for NJC takes it away. Can't possess it very long, though, and Meeks will have to run it down. Unsuccessful in doing so in the far corner, so it's a deeper throw for Western Wyoming. Hannah Harris, the last of the starters that's exiting for the Western Wyoming Mustangs. Maddie Miller, or pardon me, that is Marissa Manserrano on for her. Miller was already on. Far side, foot out. Anderson with the cross, bounces to the near side. Barron chasing it down. Barron pops it back up to the near side for Jensen. Jensen whips it far post. Off the rebound into the back of the net go the Western Wyoming Mustangs, but offside on that will negate the goal. Keep this at 7-0. Pippin took it off the rebound. But apparently the offside before everything developed there will thwart the initial chance. Plainsman nearly down 8-0 there. Goal kick out into the teeth of the wind, knocked down for Western Wyoming. Cross bounces to the near side. Orozco knocks it down and then footed out by Thompson to the near line. Annabelle Padilla trying to flip it forward to Trish Chavez. Hard chase given. Down into the near corner. Pushing for Barron in the Plainsman last touch as it went out on the line. Mustangs will have sub coming in as Jasmine Ramirez will see the pitch. Aaliyah Barron, who has the assist, exiting. First time we've seen Jasmine Ramirez, the freshman from Wyoming, this afternoon. 7-0 Mustangs over the Northeastern Plainswomen. 21.5 to go in this second half. Plainswomen get a throw. Annabelle Padilla puts it up high into the sky. Gets free of everybody. Savannah Thompson tries to cross clear it. Padilla doing the work, comes up with it. She tries to push it forward for Trish Chavez, but it sails on Chavez. Not very often you can say that going into the teeth of the wind. Mustangs pushing one forward and bounces in. Hannah Flores will swallow it up. Trish Chavez heads it forward, has nobody behind her because of the tilting of the pitch and the increased time of possession. I mean, Western Wyoming's probably about 77% of this game they possess the ball. The Plainswomen offense has gone from that traditional 3 forwards to essentially 1, and they've added more midfielders, and for a time in the second half added more defenders as well. Shot way high for the Western Wyoming Mustangs over the net. Kind of tough when the flow of a game forces you out of the formation you want to be in, although I would imagine the form probably changed quite a bit for NJC upon the injury to Aaliyah Dukes during practice on Thursday. Only really had the one, and it's kind of okay, well, this is the form we're going to go in, and there was hope coming in that the Plainswomen might be able to, hey, okay, we're going to have players in more natural positions. You know, the players like Dukes, who was asked to be a defender last year and still works as a defender, but she's very offensive-minded. You know, maybe you just hang and have to go back to that more natural spot, but it didn't matter for the Northeastern Plainsmen today as Western Wyoming had everything working their direction. Trish Chavez took the ball away in the middle of the field. There were a couple good opportunities in the first half for NJC. Just couldn't really develop much anything after those two early goals that put them down 2-0 within the first 5 minutes of the game. They weathered the storm well, didn't allow a lot of shots on, had a good look, and then immediately after the good look were countered over the top, and bang, they were down 3-0. Throw in up the near side for the Mustangs. It's now 7-0 with 18.5 to go. Battle for the ball as Orozco tries to take it off the foot. Orozco trying to turn it, loses it out on the near side. Western Engineering Consultants has big firm product and small firm relationship. They'll give you all the work. All you have to do, that next major construction project, visit westerneci.com for more. Give off Pippin, crossing it in, Thompson booting it back for the Plainswomen. Working through is Felicity Shelton. Shelton with Padilla to her right, pushes it too far to Padilla's right, and it goes out for another Western Wyoming throw. The good news for NJC, I would imagine they'll be given at least some respite tomorrow as the throw-in finds Manserrano, and she whips one wide right into the goal. You have 4 days worth of training this upcoming week to ready for getting 3 full points next Friday at home against Western Wyoming, or against Lamar. We do have a player down and a stoppage here with 17.5 as I believe that is Orozco on the near side. She'll be up on her feet. Plainswomen are not going to sub for her. She's just going to come off. Believe is going to be the approach here, and the Plainswomen will play down. She was asking for one on the near side.
Yeah, I got her.
She'll get outside the lines, and
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
the trainer will finally come across to deal with her, and the Western Wyoming fans, credit to them, they've been to our left all day. They give up their chair and afford her an opportunity to sit in their seats. I've always greatly enjoyed the Mustang group. They're always a great team to be on the pitch, and just another kind of showcasing of their humanity here in this situation as Orozco went down. I did not see on the cross. She appears to be having trouble catching her breath here, and the Plainswomen will play a man down, I believe, for the remainder of this one. Down 7-0 are the Plainswomen. We'll take a break and be back. Back at Plainsman Park as we get ourselves back underway with the Plainswomen trailing 7-0, 17 and a half to go in this one with the Western Wyoming Mustangs. On the restart, the Mustangs with the ball, working it in. Ball taken away by Lucy Clark, who did end up coming back in for the Plainswomen. So Clark, Johnson, all working in. Shot from the top of the 18 is swallowed up by Hannah Flores. Naomi Thorson took a long-range take. Ball booted out toward the midfield stripe and bounces out on the near touchline. Mustangs will bring a couple more subs back in. Cadence Barber and McKady Jenks are on. They were starters this afternoon. They've subbed down and had their opportunities, and now a couple to come back in. Jenks scoring a goal in the 59th minute. She assisted on the 48th minute goal for Western Wyoming, and Barber had the 2 goals in the 4th minute. Good news for the Plainswoman fan is Gisela Roscoe, who caused the long stoppage when she went down, appeared to be having an asthmatic issue. They were able to get her off the field, and she is better and walking under her own power back to the Plainswoman bench. So Flores boots it off the goal kick into the teeth of that wind. Western Wyoming with it, serves it across. Ball off the back foot of a Mustang player. Falls onto Allie Marling, and then Trish Chavez trying to turn it up. Collides with Lizzie Cowley, and she and Cowley battle. And Jasmine Ramirez has it on the near side. Ramirez's cross blocked by Lucy Clark. Loft in, saved by Flores. Western Wyoming 17, 21, 25, 30 shots in this one now. 16 of them on goal. They've turned a lot on frame in this second half. They only had 5 of their 15 on in the first half, so 11 of their 15 are on goal in this second half. Much more efficient offensively after going for the volume in half number 1. Under 15 to go, still 7-0 Western Wyoming. Long range push in, bounces underneath Flores, and it's an 8th goal in the game for Western Wyoming. They were just trying to loft it in, missing her spot for the Western Wyoming Mustangs. It was, I believe, Mackenzie Osborne, and it bounced its way in for the Mustangs to make it 8-0 with 14 and a half to go, and that is the ball game. As that one skipped in, and that will enact the mercy rule in minute number 75. Mackenzie Osborne on what was supposed to be just a ball bouncing in. She missed her target forward, and it skipped past Flores, and that's that. Final tally 8-0. Western Wyoming beats the Northeastern Plainswomen. Plainswomen still at 9 points in the regional standings. They got one more chance to get to 12 at home before hitting the road in October. Thanks for tuning in for Junior College Soccer. Plainswomen fall 8-0 on the Eastern Plains Sports Network.